I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Some years back, flash mobs were all the rage. It's been a while since the streets were taken over by an organized dance number, but one local group is calling it a comeback. Dancers surprised passerbys at the downtown post office as they showed off some of their best moves to tease the upcoming festival at St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church.
We decided to do a mob flash dance just to promote the festival. You know, it's being done all over the world to different music. We're Greeks, so we picked Zorba the Greek. Everybody is very familiar with that tune. And the dance is actually a more modern Greek dance. You know, we talk about dances being 1,500 years old versus the ones that are only a couple hundred years old. And the dance that we did is called the sirtaki, and that's a newer dance, about 200 years old. It started more Southern Greece, Middle Eastern.
To see all of this dance troupe's moves, as well as being immersed in culture, visit the Yasso Greek Festival, June 9th through 11th.
It's one of the dances that the dancers will be doing at the festival. Little different though, more involved, more choreography. You know that old Greek saying about laugh, drink, and be merry, because tomorrow you can do it all over again. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Isayo Church Road. Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. Kerrytown is a quaint place to have a one-of-a-kind shopping experience. But while you're perusing the merchandise, you may hear some tunes ring through the area. While the farmers market is in full swing, you can take some time from the fresh produce to play a ditty on the Kerrytown Chime.
It's a mini carillon. It has 17 bells up in the tower. The levers are hooked onto these cables here that go up across the ceiling up into the tower. They pull the clapper inside the bell. So that's what makes them ring. And we have over 100 songs that you can choose from to play by number. I'm here every Wednesday and Friday at noon from 12 to 12:30 for half an hour, and also Saturday mornings at 10:30 for a half an hour during the farmers market.
There are hundreds of songs to choose from, and Heather O'Neill, the resident chime master, will be your guide.
There's kids songs, there's adult songs. If you have a song in mind, you can tell me and I will try to work it out.
The bells are like a miniature concert ringing through the area, and you are the musician.
You can hear them about 2-3 blocks away from Kerrytown here. So whenever you hear the bells outside, you should just come up, and sometimes there's a line, sometimes there's not, and you can just play a song. This is the only place that you can find this instrument accessible to the public. So even 2-year-olds can play songs, and 102-year-olds can play songs. So it's kind of a unique feature of Ann Arbor, and it's good for the soul.
Oh my goodness. This is the most convenient time of year to repair roads, and Ann Arbor has some major passageways getting a facelift this season. Get some road construction updates in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hi, I'm Nick Hutchinson. I'm the city engineer for the city of Ann Arbor, and I'm here today to give you a little bit more information about road construction in the city this year. Starting with the project right behind me, the Stadium Boulevard Reconstruction Project, which started back in November of last year and is scheduled to go through the end of August this year, just in time for football season. And also several other major road construction projects we have going on in the northeast side of town, where we're replacing the water main at the intersection of Plymouth and Green. We're also installing a roundabout at the intersection of Nixon, Duvarin, and Green. That intersection will be closed for the summer, starting in mid-June and going through the end of August. We have several other short-term road construction projects going on throughout the city, and you can find out more about those at our website at a2gov.org/roadconstruction.
Ann Arbor is dedicated to making a healthier tomorrow for future generations of all species. Officials recently banned the use of coal tar pavement sealants containing too much PAH. Joining me is Rebecca Esselman, watershed planner for the Huron River Watershed Council, here to fill us in on the details on this ordinance and give us a better understanding of how these chemicals affect our ecosystem. Welcome to the show, Rebecca.
Thank you.
So if you could explain first, what is coal tar?
Sure. Coal tar is actually a byproduct of the steel making industry, and it has been repurposed in pavement sealing products that we use as they're marketed as a pavement maintenance and beautification practice.
And so where are we seeing this kind of pavement beautification? What kind of pavement are we seeing it on?
Asphalt surfaces. It's not used on concrete, and it's also not used on high traffic roadways. It's used on low traffic surfaces. So what this means is your home's driveway, parking lots. Most parking lots are asphalt, and many use this as a maintenance practice. And then there's also things like schoolyards and our trail systems that could potentially be utilizing the coal tar sealants.
And what I've actually heard recently is that asphalt is so much cheaper to do for your driveways that a lot of times people are doing that instead of pavement because repaving your driveway can be very costly. But why don't you tell me what the ordinance is, and it's currently in effect now?
It is. It is. In June of last year, 2016, Ann Arbor City Council voted to prohibit the use of coal tar and other high PAH sealant products. Coal tar is not the only base to sealant products that are high in these chemicals of concern. So the ordinance covers anything high in PAHs. We've been doing a lot of work, the Huron River Watershed Council, along with the City of Ann Arbor, to educate residents and communicate with contractors that do seal coating to let them know about the ordinance and what's expected in the City of Ann Arbor.
Can you explain what PAH is?
Sure. PAHs it's polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. So this is a large class of chemicals. They're pretty ubiquitous, but there is a high percentage of PAHs in coal tar, so that base product. And many PAHs have been identified as known carcinogens, likely carcinogens, and also have been linked to a myriad of other impacts like reproductive health, liver and heart issues, and several both health of human impacts and of our aquatic organisms like invertebrates and fish.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was reading about it online, it said your likelihood, your risk of cancer was much higher to being exposed to it as a child.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you think about the way children interact with our environment, they're the ones down on the driveway with chalk or riding their bikes. They're also the ones interacting with carpet and toys, putting things in their mouths. The issue with coal tar sealants, sealant products in general, they're applied, it's recommended every 2 to 3 years, which means it's breaking down and weathering over that time and needs to be recoated. And so with sun, with rain, with traction of tires, this stuff flakes off and then starts moving through our environment. And one of the exposure pathways is that it gets on our shoes and we carry it into our homes where it stays. And this is where adults and children can be exposed to the PAH contamination, but children more so than adults.
So working with the Huron River Watershed Council, have you seen the impact on the aquatic life?
Not in the Huron, so there's we did do some sampling in the Huron in detention ponds in Ann Arbor. So this is where all of our rainwater collects and the sediment that our rainwater carries. So we did some preliminary sampling just to confirm that we'd have the issue here. There's been a lot of research on this nationally, and we suspected and knew we'd find it, but it's important to have these local data points to know that indeed our systems are getting contaminated as well. And so when we tested our detention pond sediments for PAHs, there was incredibly high levels in these ponds. it would follow that it's also making it into our rivers and lakes. The information on the toxicity to the aquatic system comes from university research and from the United States Geological Survey that have done toxicity tests, you know, very methodical approach to studying how the runoff, so water carried off of coal tar treated surfaces, impacts invertebrates and fish. And they find that there's really high mortality in those studies and other impacts as well.
So would we possibly see whole fish species just disappearing because of this?
I don't know that. I know that it's been linked to tumors. So in the Anacostia River in Washington, D.C. area, they had incredibly high incidences of fish with tumors. And they're one of the areas that passed coal tar ordinances first. I was talking to a researcher from Canada who studies the Detroit River, and if you're familiar with stories about the Detroit River and the coke alongside the Detroit River that's getting blown into the river, so that is high in pHs as well. So the Detroit River is among our most contaminated waterways for pHs, and we see high incidences of impacts in fish there too.
So Ann Arbor passed this ordinance, and so contractors now, when they are doing this asphalt sealant, they have to get approval from the city with the kind of chemicals that they're using, correct?
Yeah, and just to clarify, because it can be confusing, well, so contractors do have to register with the city now to do seal coating in Ann Arbor. This is also true for several surrounding communities who have also passed ordinances. They do work on asphalt surfaces, and the safer product is called asphalt-based seal coating. So it can be a little bit confusing, but as a consumer, you want to ask your contractor to show you their registration with the city, make sure that they've filled out the appropriate paperwork vouching for them using having awareness of the ordinance and applying the safer product within Ann Arbor's boundaries, and that would mean that they're applying the asphalt-based seal coat rather than coal tar or other high pH seal coats. Yeah.
And you also cannot buy this in the city anymore either.
Yeah, we actually, so the major hardware stores like your Lowe's and Home Depot took coal tar-based seal coats off their shelves some time ago. And we sent out volunteers to just confirm that that was the case in our hardware stores, and they were unable to find coal tar-based seal coats on the shelves. So somebody that's purchasing this to do the job themselves is likely using the coal tar-free sealants. You can visit our website. So all of these products have chemical abstract numbers because they use a lot of synonyms, different names for the same thing, and it can get confusing to read a label and know what you're looking at. Our website shares the chemical abstract numbers that allow a consumer to identify a safe product versus not.
And before we go, why don't you just tell people why they should take this so seriously and be aware of what their contractor is putting on their property, or if they're personally doing it.
This is one of those issues that came to the Huron River Watershed Council that was a no-brainer. The evidence is growing about how toxic this is. It's a practice that has a safer alternative, so there's no reason to be utilizing this product line that has such a heavy toxic burden. And because we have asphalt surfaces everywhere, the potential implications for how much we're putting into our environment and into our homes is huge. So that's why the Watershed Council is not just working in Ann Arbor, but throughout our watershed, since water moves, to get all of our communities on board to just relieve this toxic burden on our system that's non-essential.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing, Rebecca.
Sure, thank you.
Visit a2gov.org/watchctn for more on this and other programs. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.